I can tell that.
We're here for Julian Assange, journalist, publisher of WikiLeaks. We still await the High Court's decision on whether he gets to appeal. We wonder, even if the appeal is granted, it may be somewhat delayed due to elections in the US, UK, France, except Ukraine, of course, which have cancelled their elections. As there are British service people, technology, hardware and government all working to restore freedom and democracy to a country that doesn't have elections. Wonderful. And since the Deputy Secretary of State in the US, Victoria Nuland, the war hawk herself, has now retired to take her directorships at Lockheed Martin and her various NGOs promoting war and death around the world. We await her replacement, another war hawk under Joe Biden, another war hawk like Anthony Blinken, another war hawk like Jake Sullivan. These are the US criminals, those who pursue Julian Assange through the British judicial system with their puppets Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak and the City of London. And here Julian Assange excuse me. And here Julian Assange faces the last trial and tribulation while here in HMP Belmarsh, the UK's Guantanamo Bay for journalists, the UK's Supermax prison for publishers, and the gross injustice that Julian Assange suffers here, the physical and mental torture of being isolated, being denied your legal and human rights. And we are here to demand free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
You're right.
Nice.
Prison guards! Listen up! Last time we were here, we talked about Julian Assange, that he was too ill to attend court. And we wondered, how did that happen? Who made the decision that he was too ill to attend court or even appear by video link? He was not allowed to appear by video link. Who made that decision? Was Assange examined by a medical officer? Was he? Was he offered the choice of whether to go to hospital or appear by video link? Who examined him? And how was that decision made? Or was the decision made by the Home Office? Fancy that! I'm guessing that that was true. Was he examined by a medical officer? Did the medical officer take legal responsibility for that decision? Or did the Home Office instruct the prison not to allow him to be taken to court? Do you see that there's a problem here? There's a contradiction that the prison is saying one thing and the Home Office is saying another. The result is that the prison governor is taking responsibility for the Home Office decision not to allow Assange to come to court. Have you heard of habeas corpus? It's existed for 700 years. Do you remember what it means even? It means produce the body. It means that the government cannot just do what it likes. We want to see Julian Assange's body alive. That is our legal right. Not Julian's right, it's our legal right. Habeas corpus is going to be exercised very, very soon. Meanwhile, you here at the prison are taking legal responsibility for the government's refusal to produce Julian Assange alive in court. You're taking responsibility. Suppose that Assange does pay the ultimate price. We would demand a public inquiry. At the very, very least, the British public will demand a public inquiry. And eventually, the truth will come out. Have you noticed that? Eventually, the truth does come out. And whoever made the decision not to allow him in court will have to own up to that admission. You might end up in prison yourselves, on the inside, in a cell. It might be you. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Lovely.
Well, have a think about it. When you take responsibility for political decisions, you might be the ones to suffer. All you're doing is allowing the minister and the government to declare that their noses are clean, that it was a medical decision. Do you not realize that Assange is a political prisoner? That's why the government doesn't want him to appear in court. Guys, you better start thinking about your own lives. Thank you.
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange!
Free Julian Assange now!
Free Julian Assange now!
You can run!
But you can't hide!
ICJ says genocide!
You can run, but you cannot hide!
ICJ says genocide!